The unofficial opening of the Big 12 football season today with Media Days in Dallas. We go to our Texas Tech contact. It's, of course, Hunter Cooke of Viva the Matadors to help us prep on what Kliff Kingsbury had to say coming off. This might be one of the last times I'm going to remind you before we get a game underway this season. 2-7 in the Big 12, 4-8, Hunter, of course, overall last season. But we hope to make amends and get back to that 7 to 8 win plateau or typical season of the 2000s most of the way. So let's talk about Kliff Kingsbury, what he had to say. Anything in particular catch your ear?
Not really much. Kliff is very, very notorious for playing it really, really close. We don't really hear much about what he's planning to do at any given day. For example, this past year, we moved one of our running backs, Kenny Williams, to outside linebacker, and he played a good amount. And then all of a sudden against TCU, he is lined up at running back and catches a 60-yard pass out of the backfield for a touchdown. He's pretty notorious for throwing in throwing in some wrinkles like that and really kind of trying to twist it up on people and not letting anyone know what the heck he's doing or what the heck he's planning. But he did say some things that kind of like tipped his hand a little bit during this. He reiterated the same stuff that we've all been hearing about David Gibbs, and us at VTM have beat that topic into a pulp. I mean, it's the hot topic of the offseason, like what is going to happen with the defense, all that other stuff. But one thing that really, really stuck out to me is that Kliff's in-state recruiting as a priority, which kind of didn't make much sense to me at all, seeing as how both of our QB starters from the past year, Patrick Mahomes, Davis Webb, they're both from Texas high schools. New explosive player on the block, Justin Stockton, from Cibolo Steel. Obviously, we have high-profile guys from out of state. Nigel Bethel, we got out of Florida, comes to mind. But a lot of our recruiting is still done in state, which kind of was a weird thing. I mean, does he want to recruit 100% from Texas, 95% from Texas? It's really kind of an open-ended answer, which is very, very stereotypically Kliff.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting to weigh what the coaches have to say when they're actually asked, and of course they have to field that topic versus what they voluntarily say, and that definitely tips the hand when they want to talk about a particular topic and they haven't even been asked about it. So let's start with the offense. Kingsbury mentioned that he wants a quarterback in place well before the opener, doesn't want to make that a last-minute decision. He wants to have a leader in place. So your thoughts about that?
I like it. I really, really like having a guy in place. Now, we walks out onto the field, or the Jumbotron shows us or flashes the offense starters up, we're probably not going to know who that is, but just knowing that we do have somebody in place it gives me a lot of hope. It's a lot better than last year where we decided a starter like game to game, or even 2 years ago where we're flip-flopping back and forth between two true freshmen and a redshirt junior with a massive back injury. Michael Brewer obviously now performing moderately well at Virginia Tech. It's better. It's a lot more transparency than we've ever gotten with Kliff, and hopefully they really do gel and they have that chemistry going into the future.
So he made it a point to talk about red zone efficiency needs to be better despite all the yardage that's amassed by this offense in recent years. The red zone efficiency needs to be better, and also the turnover margin, which speaks to both the offense and the defense, protecting the ball and also taking it away.
Well, yeah, I mean, some of that red zone efficiency just comes with what we run. I mean, we're not a smash mouth offense. We don't line up in the I formation with the air raid. We're spread it around. And a lot of what the air raid concept is based on is creating space between the safeties in the corners, safeties and linebackers, spreading the linebackers out and finding like a little 5-yard pocket that we can get one of those slot receivers into and get him the ball while he's running to where he can turn upfield. As we march down the field, that space that we have to work with just incrementally gets smaller and smaller. There's not a threat of us, going deep on someone. So those safeties that are playing deep, the corners that are playing deep, they can crash down a little bit more on those slot receivers and those outside receivers, the slant routes that we love to run. So part of it just honestly comes with the territory. But we do have to be better in the red zone. We definitely did struggle there, having to settle for field goals or not getting them at all. Kliff does like to go for it on fourth down. Hey, it comes with the territory. But I think there's some of that just can't be alleviated. And I believe there's some of it that can. But a lot of it has to do with the turnovers. I mean, obviously we look at Texas Tech's game against Baylor, lost by 2 points. We also fumbled the ball 3 freaking times in the first quarter. That's going to kill anyone. You can't win when you fumble 3 times.
And as you know better than me from watching this offense, it even helps in the running game. The spread offense opens up lanes, it broadens gaps, and you've got running room, and then that crashes down, and that becomes less of a factor and an advantage as you get close to the goal line as well. Sounds like the quarterback going to need to be more precisioned with the passing, and the receivers are going to have to win one-on-one battles that are more decided close to the goal line and win some jump balls, win some back shoulder fades, and some back shoulder passes in the red zone. Wanted to ask you about the defense before we let you go, Hunter. Gave up 41 points per game. Kingsbury was obviously asked about it. Was there anything really concrete that could give you some hope that there are possible progress being made there?
Well, if we get as consistent of replies as we have from Kingsbury about the defense, as we get defense, hopefully we'll be a lot more consistent than we were last year. I mean, he's said the same thing since day one, like, look, this David Gibbs guy, he's got a pedigree. He's coached in the NFL, did like an absolute miraculous turnaround with Houston's defense. He brings a different attitude. We're going to swarm to the ball. We're going to play better fundamentals, and he's been saying that for months. So hopefully the consistency in talking about our defense translates to consistency of the actual defense.
All right, that's Hunter Cooke from Viva the Matadors on the SB Nation platform for Texas Tech, catching us up on Kliff Kingsbury and Texas Tech at Big 12 Media Days in Dallas. Always appreciate the discussion, Hunter.
All right, Mark, take it easy.